Hey guys, what's going on? It's Daitooka. I hope you're all very well today. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through some of Kazuya's more underrated moves that I do believe are worth using in your own gameplay. The value here for this video is more to help you guys to maybe highlight some moves that you're not using personally or moves that you should think about using. Try them out, experiment with them, and understand how they work so that they can elevate your own gameplay as well. From my experience with playing Kazuya over the years, I've understood that he is relatively simple when it comes to his offense and his defense also. When you're playing against a Kazuya, you only know to really look at maybe 4 or 5 moves that might be coming at you that are worth being scared of. But it is extremely valuable to use as many moves as possible where it makes sense to, of course. You're not just going to throw things out wherever you want to, but using more moves in Kazuya's arsenal is always going to be ideal because you give your opponent more things to look out for, and really you can strive to get the best outcome in most situations where you have the control to do so. The first move that we're going to cover today is Kazuya's sidestep 1+2. Kazuya's sidestep 1+2 saw a complete change in Tekken 8, and it is a move, of course, out of sidestep. It is a high attack which knocks down the opponent on regular hits. On block, it is +5. So one more thing to keep in mind on hits is that when you hit somebody with sidestep 1+2, you are able to get a guaranteed forward 4 after they've been knocked down. In my eyes, this move is underrated because it very rarely gets used, but on top of that, it's pretty much a win-win situation for the most part. So like I said, on hit, it is a knockdown into a guaranteed follow-up while the opponent is grounded. But when you do a sidestep 1+2 on block, leaves you at +5. +5 is amazing frames for you to continue your offense with. Really, with this move, what you would want to do is use sidestep 1+2. Granted, it's blocked and you don't just get the guaranteed hit on follow-up on the ground. You would want to really see what your opponent does afterwards. If your opponent does anything like jab or mid-check or a big button afterwards, you can immediately hit them with a down forward 2 afterwards, and it will counter hit launch. Sidestep 1+2 into a down forward 2. Counter hit launch, full complete combo is going to be available there. The one sort of negative I would say about this move is the fact that it is a high, therefore it can be ducked and you can technically get punished. If you're not throwing this out predictably, it's very hard to do so. Most people really aren't looking for this move in the first place. The next move we're going to cover today is Kazuya's back 4, otherwise known as Flash Tornado. This is one of Kazuya's heat engages. It is a homing high right kick. So it will completely track your opponent stepping in any direction. And it, of course, on regular hits, will put you into heat as a heat engager. Apart from it being a heat engager, it does also do some chip damage on block. And once you're already in a heat, it actually becomes a full combo starter. So that uses the old screw animation from Tekken 7. You can then continue your combo there to go into something, get a full tornado, etc. There's big combos you can really do from this one here. With all the properties that I highlighted there, you'd really think it gets used more, and this move really doesn't. I think most people are sort of afraid of getting ducked under, especially when you're playing as Kazuya. Most people are looking for something like an electric or even jabs or even a hell sweep to give a reason for the opponent to want to, duck against you, of course. I think though it is worth using this move, especially if you see your opponent stepping a lot. It's really good to catch them doing so because it is quite fast. And although it doesn't really look like it, there are instances where this move can actually go under jabs. I'll try to slow it down in post-editing, but you can really see when Kazuya does this move, he sort of slightly ducks as he spins around. That sometimes can go under certain highs such as jabs, but it's really just something to keep in mind on top of already a really great solid move. Really use this move more. You'll notice that you'll catch a lot more people stepping with it. You'll put yourself into heat, and it's just a really great move to check your opponent, make sure that they're moving properly, and if they're not, they're going to have to deal with a nice heat engager. The next move we're going to cover is Kazuya's while standing 3. Kazuya's while standing 3 is a safe on block homing mid attack. Is -5 on block, and of course on hit knocks down. There is no guaranteed hit on regular hit, And on top of that, there is no counter hit property to this move. The main utility of this move is as a pretty safe mid check outside of something like wave dash. You can really wave dash or just, be moving in front of your opponent, throw out a while standing 3. This will catch them stepping, this will catch them walking. And especially where a lot of people try to step away from the wall, especially when they're up against a Kazuya. Being up against a Kazuya at the wall is quite scary. It's understandable. You don't want to get, hell swept into the wall or a nice forward 2 into the wall. But another thing to really try using while your opponent is at the wall and they tend to want to step to get away from the wall is actually just to throw out while standing 3. While standing 3 will wall splat, and depending on the angle, you can actually get a really good combo for a resplat into a regular combo, and there's 60 damage, and that's really just coming off a safe mid homing mid kick, which is almost impossible to punish. The range of this is so good. You're very rarely going to whiff this if you're using it at the right distance. And on top of that, there's not much to really lose even on block. On block, it is -5. You're not completely losing your turn there. Really, you would just want to move back from that on block, reset and continue your offense. I did want to talk about a low in this video, and again, these aren't moves that are necessarily going to rock your socks off, but they're worth using in certain situations. And the next move we're going to talk about is Kazuya's down back 3. Kazuya's down back 3 is probably one of the more sort of black sheep lows that he has. Everybody knows down back 4, everybody knows hell sweep. Down back 3 is really a move that very rarely gets used, and I think it's because really on hits, you're not really gaining too much. It's -1 on hit, and on counter hit, it does happen to be +7, which gives you a fair amount of plus frames to continue your offense from. And you have to really just look for that counter hit animation. Look for the counter hit animation there where they are sort of reaching the ground with their left hand there. The main utility of Kazuya's down back 3 is that it can actually crush highs. So once you press down back 3, Kazuya is immediately into a crouching state. Another sort of hidden thing about this move is that once you press down back 3 and you hold down, Kazuya remains in crouch. This can just help you with continuing your offense or just sort of checking what your opponent does afterwards. Down back 3 is -1 on hits. Now, if you do something like a while setting 4 afterwards, just counting the frames, you're gonna trade or lose to anything that's 12 frames or quicker afterwards. So any sort of 12 frame or 13 frame mid, well, you're gonna trade with the 12 frame one. 13 frame you will beat. Anything 12 frames and quicker is gonna beat you. So a 10 frame jab is gonna beat you. An 11 frame move is gonna beat you. You just need to really be careful about what moves your opponent presses afterwards. They are usually going to press after this sort of move. So again, don't expect too much out of this move on hit, but it is nice to use every now and then as a nice high crushing tool. And if you can get the counter hit, you do get some bonus damage and you're able to get some frame advantage to continue your offense. Now, last but not least for the underrated moves that we're talking about today is Kazuya's Magic 4. Just for a sort of basic rundown on the move, it is a 12 frame fast high kick. On regular hit, as you can see, it is +2, and on block, it is -9, so nothing special there. However, its specialty comes once you hit it on counter hit. When you hit Magic 4 on counter hit with Kazuya, your opponent is knocked down for, again, you guessed it, a guaranteed follow-up on the ground. Back in the day, like I said, this was a counter hit launcher, so there was a lot more reward to this move. However, Magic 4 still has its uses in certain small Tekken situations where you want a sort of quick counter hit attack where you can fish for a sort of counter hit Magic 4, knock down the opponent, you get a guaranteed forward 4 on the grounded opponent, but you can also do things like down 1+2 if you really wanted. You can also do a stomp, I believe that is max damage. But the most consistent and probably best for Oki move after this move on counter hit would be forward 4. Just the bread and butter Kazuya sort of grounded hitting move. So again, I would aim to use this move in certain small Tekken situations if you feel like someone is peppering you a bit in the face. Kazuya doesn't really have any sort of high reward counter hit moves apart from down forward 2, which is 14 frames fast and is minus 12 on block, so it is punishable. However, if you need something nice and quick, nice and snappy, a quick counter hit fishing tool with Kazuya is Magic 4. I have noticed that this move tends to sort of deter people from pressing too much in your face. Apart from you being able to sort of jab yourself out of certain situations when you sort of know your frames pretty well and you know how to sort of jab and get away from your opponent that way. If you feel like your opponent is pressing too much in your face and you don't think you have enough time for something like a down forward 2 to get a nice counter hit out of, I would be using the Magic 4. It's nice and safe, does decent damage, you know, getting something like almost 40 damage just off of a counter hit high that is safe is just really good to use. And again, I think this makes it an underrated move in my opinion. So guys, that is pretty much all for today. I hope you found the information in this video useful, and I hope you really consider using some of these moves in your own gameplay. From this video, I would just hope that you sort of take these in, sort of start experimenting in your own matches, see how you go using them and using them in the situations that I highlighted. And I really think that it can help elevate your gameplay to another level. Again, I do hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please leave a like, I would really appreciate it. And if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.